Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly reading of the Zohar, the special Book of Zohar for peace. Because in our common reading, when we connect, when we try to feel the place that the authors of the Book of Zohar, when they put this book together, when we feel it from the place of unity, we connect to that source where there is perfect balance and peace, and there's good for everyone. Welcome, Carl from Pittsburgh, Sean from Australia, Elizabeth from Netherlands, Michael from San Francisco, Annie from North Carolina, Sylvie from Netherlands, Joe from California, and Kebedi from Ethiopia. We are ready to start our reading, and today we'll be reading Blow the Horn, the Shofar on the New Moon. These are readings related to Rosh Hashanah, the New Year, and the special holidays coming up to the Day of Atonement, the Yom Kippur. You can find the reading on Kabbalahinfo under Kabbalah Library. This is Zohar for All, Volume 5. Tetzaveh is the Parsha, and the article is called Blow the Horn on the New Moon. Blow the horn on the new moon. At the full moon for our feast day. Blow the horn on the new moon at the full moon for our feast day. Now is the time for a high, strong din or a judgment to awaken. When it awakens, the Sitra Achra awakens with it. And since the Sitra Achra, the evil inclination, strengthens, it rises and covers the moon, Malchut. She does not shine light, and she fills from the side of Din. At that time, the whole world is in Din, upper and lower. And a herald comes out through all the firmaments, set up the throne of judgment for the Lord of everything, for he wishes to judge. 89. And there is a secret here, which shone for us in the desert. Why was Din, the judgment, awakened in the world on this day? Indeed, all the secrets and all the precious sanctities are dependent upon the seventh, Malchut. And the upper seventh is the upper world called the next world, Binah. All the candles, all the sanctities, and all the blessings shine from her to Malchut. And when it is time to renew the blessings and the holy things to shine, the correction of all the worlds must be observed, to renew the blessings and sanctities. Then all the corrections to sustain the worlds rise from the lower ones if their deeds are virtuous. If they are not virtuous, Malchut stands and does not shine until the wicked are separated from the righteous, and then the Din awakens. And the Sitra Achra from that Din grows stronger and accuses, so he will be given those wicked, since he examines every purpose and covers the moon so she will not shine. And why does he not give the wicked to the hands of the accuser? It is because the Creator does not wish to destroy the works of his hands. There is a harsh klipa, or shell, in the Sitra Achra, the evil inclination, that can be broken only by the counsel that the Creator gave to Israel. When it is written, blow the horn on the new moon, at the full moon for our feast day, to break that covering that covers the moon, Malchut, so she does not shine. And when Israel awakened below by the blowing of the Shofar, the voice that comes out of the Shofar beats the air and breaks through firmaments until it rises to the strong stone, the Sitra Achra, which covers the moon. When it observes and finds the awakening of Rachamim, the Sitra Achra that rose and stood above, covers the moon, is confused. At that time, that voice stands and removes the Din from the Malchut. And since the Rachamim was awakened below in Malchut, the high Shofar, Bina, awakens above as well to produce a sound which is the Mochin Dezer Anpin Rachamim. Then the voice meets voice, Rachamim in Rachamim, since by the awakening below, the above has awakened too. In the beginning of the year, the awakening of the fourth day of the act of creations returns to the world, meaning that Nukva grips to the left line without the right. Then Dinim, judgments, extend from her to the world, since because she is Chokhmah without Chasadim, she cannot shine. This is considered that the Sitra Achra covers her by the force of the acts of the lower ones who are unfit, who are wicked, that are attached to the left line. This is why it was said that if they are not virtuous, Malchut stands, for she does not shine until the wicked are separated from the righteous. Also, the blowing of the shofar is raising man, or meinukwa enaim, female waters, or the prayer. The man de masach de hirik, by which the power of the left decreases and unites with the right. This sound of the shofar implies to Zir Anpin, who is called voice, middle line, and consists of 3 lines: fire, water, and wind. For this reason, the Sitra Achra that covers the Malchut by the force of the left line was confused because the left line was diminished and lost its gar. And all the more so the Sitra Achra who takes his strength from it. At that time, the Sitra Achra who rose and stands above, covering the moon, was confused because his illumination has been removed from him. Then that voice stands and removes the deen from the Malchut, which removes the deen of the left, which does not wish to unite with the right. Now it surrenders and receives Chasadim from the right, and the Rachamim in Malchut appear. And since the Rachamim awakened in Malchut below, the upper shofar awakened above too, meaning Bina, and produces a sound, the Mochin, the Zir Anpin, which are Rachamim. The Bina awakens and begets the Mochin, the Zir Anpin, called the voice, the middle line, which extends the Mochin, the Bina, so that 3 come out of 1. One is rewarded with all 3, and they are extended to the Malchut. Then voice meets voice, Rachamim in Rachamim. Since by the awakening below, above was awakened too. Hence the voice and the Rachamim from Bina meet the middle line and the Rachamim that emerged in Malchut through the awakening of the voice of the shofar below. And in the awakening of the voice of the shofar below, it was awakened above as well. And the Mochin, the Bina, extend to Zir Anpin. And from Zir Anpin to Malchut, these Mochin are awakened from above the voice of the shofar, since the upper shofar is Bina, and its voice are the Mochin of the 3 lines that extend from her, called fire, water, and wind. 93. How can the voice of the awakening below awaken its corresponding one above? The lower world, Malchut, is always poised to receive. It is called a good stone. The upper world, Bina, gives it to it according to its standing. If it stands with the bright face below, so is the illumination for it from above. If it stands in sadness, it is given deen, judgment, correspondingly. Thus, serve the Lord with gladness, since man's joy draws another joy, the higher one. Similarly, the lower world, Malchut, as it is crowned, so it extends from above. This is why Israel hurry to awaken a sound in the shofar, which includes fire, wind, and water, the middle line, which consists of 3 lines that become 1 and rises upwards. It strikes that good stone, which diminishes her left line, and is colored by these 3 colors, white, red, and green, which are the 3 lines included in the voice. Then, as it is fit, so it extends from above. 95. And since Malchut was established with this voice from below, Rachamim come out from above and are on her, since she's mingled with Rachamim from below and from above. At that time, the Sitra Achra is mingled. His strength wanes and he cannot accuse. And the good stone, the Malchut, stands in illumination of Panim, face, from all sides, an illumination below and an illumination above. 96. When does she stand in illumination above? On the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. On the Day of Atonement, the good stone, Malchut, was illuminated with high illumination from the light of the world, Bina, and then Israel correct 1 male goat and send it to this strong desert that controls it. Okay, before we move on to the next article, let's watch a clip of Dr. Michael Rav Laitman.
What else? There's another very interesting part. 2 bloods of Passover and 1 of circumcision. This is 129 in portion Emor from the Zohar. Open an opening for me as wide as a needle's point, and I will open the high gates for you. Open to me, my sister, for the door to enter me is in you. My sons will not enter, but only through you. If you do not open your door, then I am closed, for they will not find me. Hence, open to me, certainly, open to me. This is why when David wished to enter the king, he said, open to me the gates of righteousness. This is the gate of the Lord. Gates of righteousness are Malchut, and it is an opening to enter the king. This is the gate of the Lord, of finding him and adhering to him. Hence, open to me, my sister, my love, to mate with you and to be at peace with you forever and ever. Well, the opening is something we understand. Rabash Balasulam too writes it in his letters, I think, that there's as if a wall that we go by and we move around it and we look around it, but we don't see it. And once a person matches the other side, then a hole, an opening is created, is formed in the wall. This is how it is in spirituality. You see a wall and there's nothing, and suddenly there is an entrance. In corporeality, we see a door and we know that there is a door, but it's closed. In spirituality, there is no door. There's nothing in advance. Everything is completely blocked. It's a blockage that you don't see any opening happening. And suddenly it opens up, and it's only according to the equivalence of form with what stands before the wall, which is man, and behind the wall, which is the Creator. And if there is a minimal 1% of equivalence, then a person can enter to that extent, to that percentage. If he agrees to enter in that percentage and keep all the rest outside, meaning to connect with the Creator only with what matches him, and then he enters. So that action is called righteous or righteousness. Joseph was the first one to do that action, because the place where Malchut connects with Zeranpin, Malchut refers to all the souls and how they unite with the Creator, which means the Zeranpin, blessed be He also called, that place is called Yesod, and it has to be corrected. We learn how we can correct our vessels. It is when we perform the circumcision and Priya, Tafadama, we clarify all our vessels, and those that belong to connection with the Upper One, those that don't, we cut them off, we cleanse them, separate them, distinguish them from one another. There are different vessels like Chashmal, Noga, all kinds of scrutinies we need to examine, and only after we have corrected vessels for contact with the Creator and vessels that we freeze in different forms of restriction where we don't use them, only by that we reveal the opening.
Okay, we are back. We'll continue reading. Zohar for All, Volume 6, Parshat Vayikra, blowing the Shofar, a ram's horn. On the day of Rosh Hashanah, beginning of the year, and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, Rabbi Shimon did not wish to hear the prayer from any man unless he stood over him for 3 days before to purify him. He would say, "With the prayer of this man that I purify, the world is pardoned. It is all the more so with blowing the shofar." He would not accept a man's blowing if he were not wise in blowing with intention, with the meaning of the blowing of the shofar. These are the blows by order. The first order consists of all of them, including the shevarim, the broken sounds, and the teruah, the shout. Tekiyah, the blowing, shevarim, teruah, and tekiyah. Second order, 1 tekiyah in order in the beginning, 1 tekiyah in order in the end, and a great gevurah, the shevarim, between them. The order is tekiyah, shevarim, tekiyah. Third order, 1 tekiyah in the beginning, 1 tekiyah in the end, and plain gevurah, meaning teruah, between them. The shevarim rises to gevurah, the teruah descends to malchut. One is harsh din, judgment, the shevarim, and one is soft din, the teruah. They are 10 sounds: tekiyah, shevarim, teruah, tekiyah, tekiyah, shevarim, tekiyah, and tekiyah, teruah, tekiyah. Also, they are 9 sounds because the shevarim teruah in the middle of the first order is not 2 sounds, but 1 sound consisting of 2. Hence, they are no more than 9 sounds. There are 2 gurot, the left line of Zeranpin, Isaac, and the malchut that is built of the left line. Gevurah de Zeranpin is big gevurah, and the malchut is plain gevurah. The blows correspond to the 3 lines to correct the left line, din, with the 2 lines, right and left, Abraham and Jacob, or Hesed and Rachamim. These are the 2 blows, 1 in the beginning of the order corresponding to Abraham, and 1 is in the end of the order corresponding to Jacob. In between them, Isaac, the left line, is perfumed and mitigated. However, there are 2 discernments of left, gevurah de Zeranpin, Isaac, and plain gevurah, malchut. Both need to be mitigated, hence 3 orders are required, since the shevarim correspond to the big gevurah and the teruah correspond to the plain gevurah. This is why in the first order we include the 2 gevurot together, since the first order comprises all of them. Hence we blow tekiyah, shevarim, teruah, tekiyah. The second order mitigates with the 2 blows only by the big gevurah, shevarim. The second order is one below in order in the beginning, one below in order at the end, and big Gvura, the Shevarim, between them, meaning blowing, Tekiah, Shevarim, Tekiah. In the third order, the plain Gvura is mitigated with 2 Tekiyot. The third order is 1 Tekiah in the beginning, 1 Tekiah in the end, and in between them, plain Gvura, the Teruah. He does not say big Gvura here, but plain Gvura, Malchut, meaning Teruah. And the blow is Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah. The Shevarim sounds Shever by Shever, and the Teruah sounds like rebuke and angering. This is why he said that Shevarim rise to Gvura, meaning the Shevarim rise to Gvura de Zer Anpin. And he said that Teruah descends, meaning Teruah descends to Malchut. Shevarim are harsh deen and Teruah is soft deen. 304. On this day, Isaac, the Gvura and left line, is crowned. He is the head of the patriarchs. On this day it is written, sinners in Zion are afraid. On this day Isaac was tied and tied everything. And Sarah wails, and the sound of Shofar is very loud. Happy is he who has passed between them and is saved from them. This is why we read the portion of the tying of Isaac on this day, since on this day Isaac was tied below and was tied to that one above when it was written, and bound Isaac his son. On Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the year, the worlds returned to the way they were before, as Malchut was on the fourth day in the act of creation. When she clothed the left line of Bina and Zeranpin was the right line of Bina. At that time, the right and left were not yet united, and Chokhmah was without Hasidim. Hence she could not shine, because Chokhmah does not shine without Hasidim. This is the dinim, the judgments, and the complaining of the moon. The solution that the Creator gave for it is the blowing of the shofar. By the voice that comes out of the shofar, the force of the Masach Tehirik is awakened in Zeranpin, who is the middle line. And through the Masach Tehirik, he diminishes the left line from Gar. At that time, the left surrenders to the right, unites with it, and Vak the Chokhmah that remained in the left line in Hasadim is closed, and then they shine. Thus, on the day of Rosh Hashanah, the left line is corrected through blowing of the shofar. Thus, it can shine because of its clothing in the hesed of the right. Okay, friends, let's see who is with us before we watch a final concluding clip of Rav. Carl from Pittsburgh, Sean, Australia. We have Elizabeth and Sylvie from Netherlands, Michael from San Francisco, Annie says Shalom from North Carolina, Joe, Shalom from California. Hi, Joe. Kevin from Ethiopia. CSI wishing us Shana Tova from Indy, probably Indianapolis. And Mobler, greetings from Mexico. His friends. And we have Huruk Magic sending us Shalom from Romania. Thank you all for being with us in this common reading. Hopefully we attracted some light towards this, toward the world for this new year. Shana Tova. Wishing everyone a sweet and happy new year. And let's be connected. And we will meet next week again.
Rav, in truth, we cannot understand from the books of the Kabbalists anything if we're not on their degree, their height, since we need to be on the same level of attainment. But if we try to be in some sort of attainment, then accordingly we may receive, according to our stature, to our craving, we can receive some of the reforming light, at least a little bit from that light which exists in these souls which attained and wrote this. We can receive from them some little illumination, and this illumination will sanctify us, purify us, correct us, bring us to some attainments and the understanding of the Book of Zohar. So let's attempt it, please.